Hey, what's up, gang? Gerald with Cigar Street. Now, it's been a long time since I've had a Rocky Patel cigar, but today we're going to change that with Rocky Patel's Nimmy D. Stick around, guys. Views coming up. If you're new to this channel and you enjoy cigar reviews and cigar-related artwork, consider clicking that subscribe button. All right, gang, so my understanding is this cigar has been around since I think like 2013. However, it's pretty new to me. It's not one that I've been familiar with. Definitely an interesting cigar. Now, this comes from Rocky Patel's family. It's actually, I believe, his cousin Nimish that put together this cigar. I think this was the second cigar that he had put out. And it's supposed to be a medium to full body stick. Now, this cigar consists of a Habano wrapper that comes from Ecuador, Nicaraguan binder, and Nicaraguan and Honduran fillers. It's definitely got a dark Maduro look to that wrapper. It has a nice dark color to it. Now, there's quite a few large prominent veins all throughout this stick, but it does have a beautiful color to that wrapper. Nice light oil sheen on it as well. The two bands on it, although they're not extravagant, I think the colors of the band, that blue and that silver, especially that dark blue color, just really jump out on this wrapper. It looks like a very inviting smoke. It is a Rocky Patel after all. I do love some Rocky Patel, so I'm looking forward to this one, guys. So on that note, let's go ahead and cut this one up, light it up, and see how good it really is. Alright guys, I'm actually a few puffs into the cigar, a little tongue-tied today, but I have to say the flavors that I do pull, just from the few puffs I've had, there's a lot going on with this stick. In that retrohale, it's mainly a black pepper type of spice. There is a hint of sweetness that follows, but for the most part, it's a black pepper. When I initially took my first puff, that black pepper was almost unnoticeable. It was a very soft taste. It's amping up with each puff, so much so you almost get like a cayenne pepper type of bite to it. Now, it doesn't taste like cayenne pepper, but it does have that kind of bite at this stage. Draw notes for me, they're mainly just a bold tobacco. There's a slight woodsy taste to them, but for the most part, I'm just getting a very bold tobacco flavor. There's some other flavors in there as well. Just can't put my finger on exactly what they are at this moment. But overall, it's coming off as a bolder tasting cigar. Definitely interesting. Definitely looking forward to see how it's going to progress. So I'll keep working on it, guys, and come back with my thoughts on the first third shortly. Alright gang, this cigar is touted as a medium plus cigar. It's definitely becoming a bolder and bolder tasting cigar as it progresses through the stick. Now the first third was quite interesting. The retrohale, that sharp black pepper type of spice that I picked up initially with those sweet notes, the sweet notes and the black pepper did drop off. It shifted to an unsweet cinnamon flavor. Not the best cinnamon flavor that I picked up, however it's still an enjoyable taste. It just would be nice if it had a little bit of a sweetness kind of in the backdrop there. The draw for me, which shifted from a dark tobacco note, became an unsweet dark chocolate. What's interesting about that dark chocolate note is that there is a hint of a woodsy aftertaste in there. I also get like this muddy or this soggy type of tobacco type of flavor in there as well. It's kind of hard to explain. There's not a soggy taste to it. It's just kind of the texture or the way it leaves an aftertaste in your mouth. It's actually a very enjoyable flavor. It's just one that I'm having a hard time describing. But yeah, overall, pretty good flavors in this one. It's definitely a bold stick. If it gets any bolder, it's going to be a little bit probably out of my range or out of my wheelhouse. But at this stage, I'm still enjoying it. As far as my construction goes, I started off with a very ugly burn. I touched it up, and it seems to hold the burn line a lot better now. The smoke for me at times was a little anemic, but it seems like that's improving as well. The ash on it, it's not a bad ash. It's a little bit flaky, but overall, pretty nice solid ash on this one. So yeah, overall, definitely a good start. Looking forward to see how this will progress over the next couple sections. So I'll keep working on it, guys, and come back with my update on the second third shortly. Alright, that second third for me definitely took a step backwards. The big issue that I have is in the draw. I still get those dark heavy notes, but there's like this papery type of aftertaste. It doesn't taste natural. It just doesn't have a good flavor to it. And unfortunately, it does take me out of the smoke. The retrohale is pretty much the same as before. I get like this sharp cinnamon bite. At times it's kind of a muted cinnamon flavor. There's not a bite to it. At other times it has a very sharp bite. I think the biggest issue that I'm really having with this stick is that the smoke at times is very anemic. There are times where I get plumes of smoke. There are other times where I'm just really struggling to pull smoke out of the cigar. Unfortunately, it's taken me out of the whole experience. Other than that, I mean, there's some issues with the burn. It's a little bit crooked, and the ash on it's pretty flaky, but for the most part, it's just mainly the smoke output and that aftertaste in the draw that's taking me out. Hopefully this one will turn around in the final section, so I'll keep working on it, guys. Come back with my final update shortly. Alright guys, we're at the end of the road on this one, and for me, the second third, or the final third, did improve over the previous section. However, I still get those paper notes. Unfortunately, those do take you out of the smoke. They're not as strong as they were before. They're a little more muted, but it still has that papery type of aftertaste. And I just didn't care for that flavor. It just took me out of smoke. It doesn't taste like it belongs with the cigar. Other than that, most of the flavors were pretty consistent. However, it is a little bit of an earthy taste in that final third. And that muted or that soggy type of tobacco note that I got before, and I know I'm describing that flavor note wrong, that was probably the most standout flavor in this final section. I did enjoy those notes. Unfortunately, the other flavor notes just kind of overpowered it, and it just became one of those cigars that was a little underwhelming. I ended up rating the cigar a 75 out of 100. Now, this cigar does go for $8.75. With the flavors that I picked up, I think it's priced a little bit too high. It tastes more like a budget stick to me. It's one of those cigars that if I had it paired it with something else to offset some of those flavors, especially some of those aftertastes, like that papery type of aftertaste, I think it would be more enjoyable. But yeah, overall, it's an okay tasting cigar. Hopefully those of you that have had the cigar before had a better experience than me. And if you have had this cigar before, let me know what you think about it in the comments below. And I'll see you guys on the next review.